So last week we saw Robert Redford crawl up the butt of the Weather Underground, bona fide terrorist who killed innocent people. Now it's Jada Pinkett who's gone pinko, shilling her new flick on Angela Davis, the commie who tried to help a murderer flee from jail. Her boyfriend, George Jackson, had committed 5 armed robberies before killing a guard. He also wanted to poison the water system of Chicago. Great guy. In 1970, his brother Jonathan entered a courthouse armed with a shotgun that Davis had bought. That gun blew a judge's head off. So whatever became of Davis? Surprise, she was rewarded a faculty job and a salary far beyond a prison guard's widow. How funny is it that left-wing academics mock law-abiding folks with guns, yet somehow always embrace armed radicals who want to destroy America? I guess one's cool and the other isn't, which is why Jada is now hawking her flick called Free Angela and All Political Prisoners. How objective was she when covering her subject? Here's Jada's describing Davis, quote, "She never apologized for her politics or her associations, and she always looked fabulous doing it. So look fab and have the right politics and Hollywood bends over. What dirtbags." Thankfully, though, Jada strongly condemns bullying. Yeah, bullying, the go-to issue for celebrities who cannot truly condemn deadly behavior. I guess being called names is far worse than getting your head shot off. So hooray for Hollywood, a place where terrorists get tributes and Charlton Heston gets humiliated. Hollywood, it's how we speak to the world, and we're telling the world that we suck. Bob, I know you like Angela Davis, but I want to pose this question to you. Imagine if a Republican had a hardcore contingent of violent right-wing radicals. Would Hollywood ever celebrate that?
No, but, you know, you always go, it's always, can you imagine if this was a Republican? Can you imagine?
But it's true. Your ilk embraces violent radicals.
About Angela Davis is that she never was arrested or convicted of anything. That shotgun was taken out of her house.
Which she purchased for the escape.
She did not purchase it.
Yes, she did.
She
purchased it.
She's a communist, which is why everybody hates her. But she is a very.
I hate her because she's a criminal. And the judge is dead.
She never was convicted of any crime.
Yeah, and why was she acquitted? I think one of the jurors ended up becoming a lover of her supporters.
No, she never went to trial.
Yes, she was acquitted. I read the trial. I read it. Well, she bought the arms that were used and killed those people.
Let me ask you this: if in this country, if we are found not guilty, then is there some reason why we can't pursue life normally like anybody else?
That's a good question. I think that it's disgusting that academics embrace these people. Mm-hmm. These are horrible people, whether it's Bodine, whether it's Bill Ayers. Bodine, who shouldn't be in Colombia, she should be, well, in the country of Colombia in a jail.
She spent, what, 22 years in prison for an armed car robbery that killed 2 cops, and then Columbia University welcomes her with open arms. These are, all of these people, including Davis, they're the old heroes of the new left. Well, and your point about bullying is a good one, because take whether she's a criminal or not off the table. She was a clear communist, for sure. And I just wonder what Jay-Z and Jada Pinkett and Will Smith think about communism, because communism is bullying. It's taking people's civil liberties away from them. It's stripping them of their rights. And it's the exact same thing that our founding fathers tried to prevent from happening, and all of them. Kathy Boudin, Angela Davis, all of them, communists, and they're glorified in academia.
Can I play a shot of Jada talking about this on Good Morning America, about the historical significance of Angela Davis?
It is a powerful piece of American history. Like, people think they know the story of Angela Davis and even think that we know all the different aspects of that particular era, but we don't. And I felt like Angela Davis represented such a dynamic, charismatic figure of this time, and she really was in the middle of kind of the building blocks of the America that we see today.
Yeah, so she's a communist, a Marxist, a feminist proponent of radical violence, and she's the building block of America today, Dana. This is what's scary. These are the people who shape history through media. By the way, appliant media.
Well, right, Andrea pointed out, if you look at the very end of that interview, the interviewer she's probably never heard of Angela Davis in her life, and then she's like, oh, right, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's like, remember we used to listen to Current TV when Al Gore was, whenever he did an interview, and all the anchors would say, good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's because they don't read up on stuff.
Good. Did you get a chance to talk yet?
No.
I have one more thing I'd like to say. You go ahead.
Well, I can wait.
No, I want to get Eric in this.
Can I just point something out? Bill Ayers, University of Chicago, Bernie Dorn, Northwestern Law, Bodine, Columbia, Hollywood embracing anyone who's a communist, a Marxist, or a leftist, Sean Penn, Jada Pinkett. What is it with Hollywood and academia, I don't know, covering up for or just forgetting the past of some of these radical leftists who've killed people?
But you know what's great? They hate law-abiding citizens with guns, but they love radicals with guns who actually kill people.
Greg, you all were not.
Oh wait, I wasn't old enough, right?
No, you did not.
Yes.
In that
Too bad there weren't any history
No,
books.
wait a second. During that period of time, when there was a lot of radicalism in the United States and the anti-war movement, which I was a part of, and a lot of other movements, the government, the police departments, and others persecuted people unnecessarily. They did the kind.
I'd say necessarily here.
Well, you say necessarily here. I'm talking about back during the late 60s and the 70s,
right,
when police and the government stepped all over our constitutional rights because we happen to disagree with the government. Now, at some point, you're going to get angry about that. She spoke out about it. A lot of people did. She had a right to do it then because she was right then.
So blow up a police station,
there's
blow
no
up
excuse for that. I understand there's no excuse for that.
Kill people,
but throwing people in jail.
And then years later, Bob, hide them at Columbia, at Northwestern, at University of Chicago, some of our most important institutions.
Well, if that bothers you so much, then why don't we put the police and the government officials who put people unnecessarily in jail and kept them there? Those pigs should have gone away a long time ago.
Wait, hide them? They are not hidden at Columbia University. They are exalted like royalty at these institutions. And I would just love, and maybe it's naivete, I don't know, but I would love to see an America under communism, under Angela Davis's view. Let's see if Jay-Z would be the richest man in the world. If he could do whatever he wants. Let's see if Will Smith could make those movies under a communist regime that Angela Davis
Do you think that the government had the right to wiretap people illegally? Do you think the government had the right to railroad
people?
So
let's just kill people.
By the way, this is a decoy debate. We are not talking about that. What we are talking about is a group of people that killed 3 of their own, building a bomb that they were going to place in Fort Dix. They were going to kill troops and their wives at a dance. But the bomb went off, thank God, and killed them. Blew one girl's head off, blew her feet off. Dustin Hoffman had to rescue one of them. This happened in East Village. These people should be dead. Well, they tried to kill our troops, Bob.
There's no excuse for that, and they should have been prosecuted and they should have been put away. I agree with that. But I don't think that you could just dismiss those times when the government and the police departments broke the law in order to stop the set.
You shouldn't have a right to protest and disagree. Peaceful protest, though, not blow people up.
Did you ever speak out against the people that railroaded us into jail?
But Bob, don't you think that they are using you? That people who are communists, that want to overtake America, are using your naivete to do this, because they're saying, you know, we're for what you believe in, when they really want something violent. They want these people are no different than the Manson family. In fact, the Bodines used a symbol called the fork, and you know what that meant?
Yeah.
That was the fork that was used to kill
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate. These are sick people.
I have a friend of mine who was railroaded by the FBI, went to jail for 12 years on phony charges because they wanted him off the street.
So protest, Bob. So protest.
We did.
So
those FBI guys should have been put in jail.
Okay, you don't blow people up if you don't get your way.
And you shouldn't railroad people, right?
I just want to make one last point. So neither you nor Jada Pinkett were old enough to live through, as Bob pointed out. But you read the history and came out with a very different view than Jada did. At our universities, you actually don't get the point of view that you just put forward, which would then allow students to think it through and come to their own conclusions.
That's a great point.
Thank you.
Our kids are learning from these radicals, and they're going to have their version of history, which will be very different from Greg's and Bob's.
And that's why everybody should watch The Five every day and Red Eye so they can hear from Greg.
Yes, and don't go see Jada's movie. All right.